for the one in the comments that doesn't like it. There you go. That was an extra special one. Anyway, today's subject is, what difficulty do I play on? And I remember I was asked this question from Stampedeth Gaming. Stampede Gaming, Joe. Joe just hit 300 subs. He's got his Halloween stuff coming up. Go check out Joe, Stampede Gaming. You guys all know who he is. If you're watching my channel, you know who he is. Good guy. Good dude. I like him a lot. But anyway, he asked me that question the other day, and I answered him, and I thought I would make a good video as well. So, here we are. What difficulty does Megadan play on? What do I do in games? Well, I enjoy games that don't have a difficulty most of the time. I like when they don't have one, to be honest with you. So that's my favorite thing. When you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you just play it. When you play Contra, Punch-Out, you just play it. You hit start. There is no difficulty. There is no easier route for you. You know what I mean? You either beat it or you don't. When you play Ninja Gaiden, you beat it or you don't. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I prefer that. But when there's difficulties, what I like to usually do is keep it on default. Whatever it is defaultly is what I usually like to do. I don't usually mess with it. Unless it says easy. When it says easy, I don't like to play on easy. I'll put on normal. Normal, I feel like, is the most fair. You know what I mean? And that's what I'll put it to. If a game is defaultly set to an easy mode and there's normal hard, then I'm probably going to go to normal. I am not probably going to go to normal. I am going to go to normal. I don't really like to make things easier by giving myself more continues or more lives. I know sometimes in games you can adjust how much health you have. You can adjust how many lives you start with. You can adjust how many continues you get. I don't like to mess with stuff like that because I like to just learn. I don't have to get through the whole thing on my first go. I just keep trying. The more you play the first, second, third level or whatever, the better you're going to get. You're just going to get further every time, you know, probably. And so I don't usually try to take, like, those shortcuts. It's just not my thing. I don't feel the need to do that. I understand where people are saying, well, I do it for practice. I get it. I just don't like to do it. I don't feel it's necessary. But yeah, I don't necessarily put a game on hard unless it's like Contra 3 where you have to. If you want to get the best ending, then you have to play on hard. Then I think you have to. You know, you have to play on hard. I was actually, when I beat Contra 3 for the first time on normal, and I seen that it had some stupid ending, it actually kind of pissed me off. I would rather have just played on hard the whole time then. And this is why I kind of wish games didn't have a difficulty. I wish this is just the way it is. It's either you beat it or you don't. Because I don't like that. I don't like it when, I got to play through the whole game again now because, that was a fake-ass difficulty and you're not going to see the ending now. Like, I'm not a big fan of that. And then they don't let you know that either, right? You don't know that until you get there. And then on Contra 3 Alien Wars, when you play it on hard, it's like a completely different game. The bullets are moving way faster. People take more hits. It's different, dude. So now you're like basically starting over, basically. So I wish I would have just played hard to begin with, So it's like, why is there a difficulty? Why? Just make it like this. Ghosts and Goblins is just like this. You either beat it or you don't. And I understand that was to cater to people, but I just don't like that. It's either like this or like this. That's a big problem going forward here. Why I'm having a problem with Madden. I play Madden on Pro, and I'm winning 70-10. I play on All Pro, I can barely win a game. So it's like there's a huge gap there. But Pro is too easy. It's just getting too easy, man. I need to play something with a little bit more of a challenge. So I put on All Pro. So it's just that now it's like frustratingly hard, though. You know, because here's the thing. You might say, well, why don't you put every game on hard? I don't like to do that either, because when you put games on hard, usually, they usually like to be more cheap then. It's usually way cheaper, where you'll get killed by one hit somewhere, versus maybe on normal you take 3 or 4 hits. You know, now it's becoming almost unfair. You know what I mean? It's if you want that ultimate challenge, and if you want that, great. But a lot of times, I just want games to be on some sort of even playing ground where some parts are hard, some parts are easy. Or the most traditional thing is the first couple levels are pretty easy and it progressively gets harder. That's how it should be. The more further you get, the harder it gets. The last boss is tough as fuck because it's the last boss. Makes sense, you know? I feel like Castlevania always had a really good difficulty thing. The first couple stages, you fight the bats, you fight the mummies, you fight Medusa. Those are all pretty easy. But then you start getting into, like, you know, the Frankenstein monster with the little guy. And then you get into death. And then Dracula fight's kind of tough, too. It's like, it progressively gets hard the right way. You know what I mean? And that's how I think a game should be. I hate it when, like, okay, we were playing that Transformers game, and you had the first level was like the hardest fucking level in the game. And then it got easier. It was like, what? And they had it ass backwards. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Even like Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden had a good climb. That first stage is very easy. It's kind of teaching you how to play the game. But as you get to the end, it's damn near impossible at the end. It's really tough. You know, so that's how it should be. That's how it should be. So I don't necessarily turn it on some hard mode. I just play it on normal. Because he asked me, well, should you do your no death runs on all hard and stuff like that? Or how does it count if you do it on normal? Well, it's just different ways of doing NDRs. It's just different. Do you want to do it on hard? Or do you want to do it on normal? It's just, what do you want to do? They both count, you know, so everything's an NDR, but you got to say, okay, NDR on easy, NDR on hard. But if you just say no death run, then I figure it should be kind of obvious that it's on normal. You know what I mean? It's a normal NDR. You know what I mean? It's kind of how I take it, at least. I mean, if people want to be very specific, I know in the speedrun community, things are very specific because they need to be. Any percentage or, you know, whatever, you know, however they're doing it. Whether you can use warps or you can't, right? That matters big time, you know? I think that should almost be implemented into no death runs too. If you're using warps, you should probably put that. Because it is different. It's a different challenge, dude. It's, if you're skipping levels and somebody else is playing all the levels, obviously one's a lot harder than the other. You know what I mean? So you should make that different, you know? Obviously for a speed run, you're going to go, holy crap, he did it in this amount of time. Well, he used warps. So, yeah, that should be put in the title or something. But that stuff just goes with, you know, whatever you want to do. If you want to do a no death run with warps, then okay. If you want to do a no death run on easy, okay. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? I just do my stuff on normal. But I think everything counts. I think what he was trying to ask me was like, well, if it was on easy, does it count? I go, yeah, it counts as an easy no death run. DuckTales on normal versus Mega Man 2 on normal. If you put it on difficult, you should say no death run on difficult. You know? So, that should be specified. You know? What the fuck? Holy shit. The guy just about switched lanes like literally right in front of me. And you guys talk about me not being able to drive. Go ahead and get over, brother. Go. You can go. Go ahead, bud. Yeah, there you go. Jesus Christ. At this point, I know you want to get over. Go ahead, man. What the fuck? This motherfucker just... It's called a blind spot. You might want to look at it when you switch lanes. I'm teaching Peyton to drive right now, so going through all that stuff with him. I said, don't you ever switch a lane without looking with your own eyes. Do not just trust those damn mirrors. You use these. But anyway. Yeah, so... anyway, that's kind of how I am. I play games on my playthroughs and everything for the first time on normal. I don't mess with anything. I just check to see if it's on easy. I usually check to see if there's numbers of continues and stuff and lives, because then I know, like, oh, okay, you only get there's not unlimited continues in this game or whatever. You know, you kind of learn the rules. What am I getting into here? Here's the rules, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, whatever you want to know death run or speed run on, I mean, just specify it, right? I mean, if you played it on, like when I did my Super Ghouls and Ghosts No Death Run, I played it on professional. So for me, if I wanted to do it, I was going to do it. You know, do it on the hardest fucking mode possible. So I did it on professional. And so I put that in the title, on professional. You know, so it's different than being on normal, you know. So, you know, I think you should just specify it. But if it just says no death run, then I would consider it to be on normal, all normal default settings, right? But that's just what I like to do. So yeah, Stampede asked me what I do with difficulties, and that's what I do. And I think Captain Algebra follows like the same kind of standards, right? I think that's how he feels as well. I've always noticed that when I've watched him. And I don't know if that's how everybody is or not. I don't know. But that's what I like to do. So that answers that question. What difficulties do you guys play it on? Do you put on easy, beat on easy, and then beat on normal, then beat on hard? Like, what do you do? I a lot of times too, you might ask why don't I do that? Well, I usually have so many fucking games to play that I don't beat games 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I usually beat games once or twice, depending on if I want to NDR or what I want to do, depending on how fun it was, right? But if it was a decent game, I just beat it and I move on, you know? If it's a game I like, or it's easy to do, I'll beat it, and then I'll do a no death run beating it. But yeah, I don't feel the need to turn games on, like, you know, if I'm playing, I don't know, Ninja Turtles Manhattan Project, or does that have a difficulty? I think it does. I don't turn that on hard, you know, I don't have to do that. Like, it's just whatever default says, right? Unless it's easy. That triggers me. I don't want to play on easy. I just don't. Because it's just a thing on easy. It's like I can handle more than that. That's why. It's just, I'm wasting my time. I'll fall asleep playing the damn game. You know what I mean? I want it to be a little challenging, you know? But, that's just what I look for. But I don't need it to be like cheap as fuck. You know what I mean? It'd just be stupid, you know? Where it's just like unfair. Because there's sometimes in games you put on hard and it's like unfair. You know what I mean? I can only imagine Madden 24 on all Madden. It's probably fucking stupid. Because it's bad enough on all pro. It's bad enough, dude. I'm sure it's bad. So yeah, that's how I feel about it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, I'm a naked little boy. Let's go.